Hey guys, just setting this up real quick. I'm hoping you can see me on Facebook as well. So today I'm at work and I snuck up to the super secret quiet conference room. I want to do this live topic for a little while now and talk about something I like to call leaning in. And wondering for yourself, when do you lean into something when it comes to anything in life? It doesn't have to be EMS, but talking about EMS today in particular, um, I had saw a post on Facebook, I believe, the other day, and it talked about how far they had to go into reading about anatomy and physiology and stuff like that. And somebody had put in there that knowing the basic function of stuff like osteoclast and osteoblast can help them understand illnesses in patients, especially like osteoporosis in the elderly. I get it, man. Okay, I get it. All right, you want to be smart. You want to learn as much as you can out there. Okay, and I'm all for that. You know me. I've been doing EMS for a while. You know that I encourage learning. I encourage building knowledge base, right, as an EMS professional. My thing is to build the knowledge base that's going to be able to allow you to apply it as a paramedic or as an EMT. Okay. Yeah, it's great to know that stuff. It's great to know stuff like that and illness processes and stuff when it comes to osteoporosis. But think about it. What do we do as paramedics for patients that have osteoporosis? I'm waiting. Yeah, nothing. We take them to the hospital. We manage broken bones and maybe stuff like that, maybe pain management. But the disease itself, we're not doing anything for it. Okay. So to sit there and waste your time, okay, in my opinion, learning all about that end of a patient's disease, okay, it's great for you. It's great for your knowledge, but it's not going to be able to apply to EMS. Now, if you want to go further in EMS and you want to do other things inside EMS, then maybe that's something that you want to know, you want to learn about. Okay. But to try to sit there and say that you need to know that information to be a basic paramedic or an efficient paramedic out there in the field is ridiculous. Okay. There's a lot of other things that we can be spending our time on learning about more in depth and learning more about as providers for things that we can make a change in, that we can make a differences as professionals out there, right, on a day-to-day basis on patients that we deal with every day. Okay, tell me about learning more about certain EKGs or certain drugs that we use for cardiac patients, or certain things that can cause cardiac arrest that we can change and maybe change that outcome for patients. Okay, that's the type of stuff that we should be delving deeper into, understanding more of. Okay, and when I talk about leaning in, not to get too much off on a tangent there, when I talk about leaning in, I'm really talking about when you're struggling with something. Okay, me, for myself, when I was in paramedic school many, many years ago, and we started talking about cardiology, and mainly getting to the EKGs, right? When they started talking about the boxes and the little boxes and the big boxes and the P waves and the Q wave and the R wave, I was so confused and so lost that I almost quit paramedic school at that point. I felt that it was just way beyond anything I could ever fathom, anything I could ever kind of get a really grasp on, right? But instead of quitting, I did what I'm talking about today is I leaned in, okay? I learned more about it. I took my time, I broke it down, and went and learned more about that particular piece of content. And that's what I encourage you to do if you're struggling with something in EMS, no matter what it could be. Maybe it's something to do with a certain skill, maybe it's a certain topic, whatever the case may be. You can either quit and move on to something else or ignore it until it becomes a problem, okay, which a lot of people do that too. Take drug math. That's one thing, right? People struggle with drug math and drug calculations. They get through an exam. Once the exam's over, they forget about it, okay? They forget about it until it becomes a problem, okay, and they have to know about it. Then they study again. But if you lean into something, okay, and lean into that particular topic, you can master that subject, you can master that topic, and this way you don't have to deal with it anymore in the future. You can refresh here and there, you can kind of renew your information if something changes in that protocol or in that medical field, in that medical topic as it applies to EMS, right? You can refresh your information on that, but by leaning in when you're struggling with it, it doesn't kind of rear its head again on you and have you struggle again and make you revisit that content and revisit that topic again when it comes to exam time or when it comes to a patient encounter you might have. Okay. So if you're struggling with something, my suggestion to you is to lean in, guys. Okay. Whether it's breaking it down into smaller chunks so that you can understand it better. Okay. Or whether it's taking a day, certain parts of your day, an hour a day, 45 minutes a day, even 20 minutes a day to go ahead and study that particular topic and get that information, more solid in your head and solid what your understanding is of that. By leaning in to the topic, you're going to master that topic. You're going to be more proficient in it, and you're not going to have to revisit it down the line. Okay. Yeah, you can get by just, kind of reviewing stuff, and you can kind of get by on that. Okay. But by leaning in and understanding that topic that you're struggling with, not quitting, not skirting around the outsides of it. Okay. You'll be able to master that topic and be able to put it behind you. And then next time you see that topic is going to be when you have to refresh on it because you just want to have that knowledge more solid in your memory bank, or maybe an exam's coming up or something like that. Okay. And again, guys, leaning in doesn't mean you got to sit there for a week and study, 8 hours a day on a topic. You can certainly do it in small 20-minute chunks to go ahead and, really focus in on that. Okay. And it might be something simple. It might be something that you already understand, a specific topic. Let's say it's cardiology, for instance. You already know how the blood moves around inside the body, right? Maybe there's a certain aspect of that you don't quite understand, how it gets oxygenated in the cells or whatever. Then that part you can go ahead and lean in on to kind of really master that topic. Okay, guys, listen. My deal is, and what I've always believed, is that EMS is very good at a very small amount of skills and information that we can do. Okay. And in 20 some years I've been doing this job, it really hasn't changed all that much when it comes to how we're treating our patients. Yeah, things have come along that have improved stuff for us, right? CPAP, for instance, is one of those things. Okay. Pain management's changed from morphine being the go-to drug to now fentanyl is more of a go-to drug, right? So things do change, but the overall approach to our patients really has not changed all that much. And if you're sitting there talking about osteoblast and stuff like that, you are way, to me, in my opinion, way outside the box of where you really should be when it comes to learning about EMS and about being a paramedic. Okay, if you want to go be a doctor or a nurse or a PA and you want to get more in depth in those content and that type of topics and really understand stuff that goes on with your patient, then of course, by all means, go ahead and do that. Okay, but before you can get to that, guys, you got to get down to the basics. You got to know the basics, get the education on the basic stuff that you need to know. I know way too many paramedics that are way too smart up here that know all about osteoblast and osteo this and, everything that's going on inside the cell. When they have a patient that's you're run over by a car, for some reason their mind draws a blank and they don't know what the hell to do with the patient. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to talk about, guys. Focus on what we can do on that ambulance. Okay, a lot of stuff we can do up here. We have to put what's up here and put it out to the street, and what we can do for patients on that ambulance. Okay, that's my take on it. And like I said, today's episode is titled "Leaning In," and my deal with that is, like I said, if it's something that you don't understand, something you're kind of struggling with, lean into that topic, guys. Master that topic, and be a better EMS professional overall. Do it for EMS. Okay, how it applies to EMS. Okay, that's my main deal, and I've been trying to getting sort of on that rant lately, is moving the knowledge base, increasing your knowledge as it applies to being a paramedic, a true paramedic, a field paramedic, and how it applies to EMS and what you can do to make change, a positive change for your patients when you encounter them. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll cut that short here. Hope this makes a little sense to you guys, that maybe it's ringing true a little bit. I might get some disagreement out there. If I do, that's cool, man. Everybody has an opinion, right? go ahead and post some notes below in the comments and love to hear what you have to say about this type of stuff. Until then, as always, I am Jim Hoffman for EMSSCO.com and, of course, EMSOfficehours.com. Stay safe.